Welcome back to Terrace Talk. It's another season for Leeds United, and this is the one that they're going to get back to the Premier League. Welcome to where Leeds and where's Whites walk. It's good to hear that again, isn't it, Adam? Welcome, Adam and Jake, who are going to be our reviewers for this very important season for Leeds. Welcome to the Whites Walk. How are you, fellas? Good?
Yeah, good, thanks. Not too bad. Not too bad.
Yeah, very good. Very good.
Have you got your Wembley bit out the way now? Is it? Can we move on from that? It's all out of the system?
I mean, I was there and I'm just about over it by now. So, yeah.
I think England was probably the thing I'm getting over at the moment still.
Well, look, all the Pompey fans cheering for you back in that final, and of course we'll get on to Pompey in a second. But welcome to Whites Walk. This is a season where many football pundits have predicted this to be a walk in the park for Leeds. I think most pundits at least have put you second. Some are saying you're going to do a Burnley and walk away with it. Jake, have you seen anything in pre-season to suggest differently?
Not really. I mean, normally with us in pre-season, I find that it's never like our pre-season aren't normally particularly good. There's generally issues with the squad where the squad's not complete, or like even under Bielsa, I found that we weren't very sort of cohesive in pre-season. There would always be slight issues, and it would never be particularly sort of positive time. But then obviously when the season hit, we'd be really like we'd be sort of all guns blazing. And I'd say this is probably the best pre-season that I can remember, really, in terms of how we've been on the pitch. I think the new signings have been really good. I think Bogel's looked really good. Some nice sort of link up with Mateo Joseph, and with a few nice cutbacks to him. I think that could be a good sort of partnership for this season. I think my issue with last season was under Farke that it was a little bit, the football could be a little bit slow. It was a bit sort of safe, and a lot of it went through Somerville. Obviously now he's gone, and I have noticed in pre-season that I think he has tried new things, and he has sort of like first game he went to a back three, and I think he has worked on things tactically based on what I'm watching. I think Rutter's looked really good. I think his sort of link up with Joseph could be a real sort of strong point this season. I think we could see a lot of sort of goals and assists for those two. And yeah, overall, I mean, obviously it was sort of dampened a bit by the Somerville sale, and some fans aren't happy with the fee and that kind of thing, and that there was a release clause supposedly. So that kind of soured things a little bit. But I think on the pitch, it's been great. Really, I can't really complain.
Yeah, we'll get into the Somerville in a second. But Adam, the results. Some people say you can't read too much into pre-season results, but Leeds have beaten some European heavyweights, or at least anyway on paper they seem to be. The names seem to be heavyweights. Can we read into anything from those results, or do you just go, well, let's just see how we do against Portsmouth?
I think individually, definitely, Mateo Joseph is the big breakout star, I guess, that we're all expecting to be really good again this season, hopefully. Last season, he only started 2 games, and they were in the Cup. He didn't start a single league game. I think the most minutes he played in any game at all that weren't when he started, in league matches were 27 minutes. So we're hoping now that he might actually get a bit of a run together, and he's been brilliant in pre-season. 4 goals and an assist in 4 games, and one of them's against a La Liga heavyweight, as you mentioned, and Schalke in the Germany, and another in the second tier, yes, but they're a former heavyweight and all that as well. So, the standard of teams that we've played and beaten have been fairly good, and obviously that is positive. It's not like it's not going to be a positive thing. It's just that obviously the season starts now, and that's what's going to be more important, and performances need to be a similar level or better because it's the Championship.
Mm-hmm. Jake, I did read that some the return loanees were booed in the most recent games. Where do you stand on fans voicing their displeasure about certain players?
Yeah, I mean, I do get it to an extent. I mean, because I guess with your more kind of hardcore, sort of passionate kind of fans, they are if players leave at the first sort of chance they've got, they are going to have a bit of backlash if they return. But my stance on the contracts is, obviously the players weren't sort of forcing them into their own contracts. They were put in by Victor Orta, the old director of football. So I just think you can't really have a go at players for exercising something that's in the contract that they are permitted to do based on what the director of football had put in or what the club had put in the contract. So I don't really hold much against him personally. I think the best way to sort of silence the critics and the boos is just to sort of play well and put some good displays. I mean, Verber is probably, if he stays around, will be a backup centre back, so I doubt he'll sort of have a great deal of a role anyway. But with Aronson, I think he'll play some minutes. So I think they just got to play well with it, and that will probably shut people up.
Yeah. Adam, you concur?
Yeah, absolutely. We saw it with Willie Nonto last season. People weren't happy that he'd handed in a transfer request, but you get your head down, you start playing well, and people quickly forget. Football fans are quite fickle in that sense, it has to be said. You start playing well for your team, and people do quickly forget what's gone on before. So hopefully they just do that if they are to play a part, which I agree with Jake. It's probably going to be more likely that Brendan Aronson has more minutes than Max Verber this season, I would suspect.
Okay. Next week on the channel, we'll review goalkeepers and defenders. So we will get into the transfers in a lot more detail. Obviously, want to talk about is Somerville. There was a lot of outcry online that 25 million is a steal. Personally, I think it's one of the bargains of the summer for West Ham. We don't know. We're not sure exactly what the add-ons are, but Adam, how much would you have at least wanted for Somerville?
I'd say like at least 30, hopefully pushing towards that sort of 35 mark. But I think when you see other players that have left the Championship in recent years that are quite young and have done well, for the most part, you're talking like João Pedro is probably the best comparison. He went for about 30 million. Obviously, we know Archie Gray went for more than that, but you're paying for a lot of potential with him, and he is significantly younger than Somerville, even though Somerville's a young player himself. So it's disappointing. But Jake mentioned Victor Orta there, and I guess a lot of the fans will just point fingers at him from his time at the club. And if there was a release clause, which seems to be the case, then he's obviously partly to blame for that. And it's disappointing, but it's just one of those things.
Yeah. Jake, how much would you have sold him for?
I mean, we saw reports, but not reports, but there was sort of talk around, that the club want 40 for him. That was kind of what was being said by people and certain journalists. For me, I would have liked 30. I think with most fans, if that initial figure would have been 30, I think they would have been happy. I think if it was in the 30s in some capacity, I think people would have been quite happy. But I think it's just the fact as well when you look at, because we rejected 20 from Burnley last August, so I think people are kind of thinking, well, why is 25 now acceptable but 20 wasn't? But if this release clause is true, which I guess it probably is, and there is with my tinfoil hat, and I could say that it's they're just saying that to cover the backs for the low fee, but you would imagine there was a clause somewhere. I think that just makes people more concerned because which other players have got that same clause? So yeah, I think ideally for me, I would have said 30, but what can you do?
Okay. Yeah, let's hope there's a good sell-on clause involved in it because I think this lad's going to go big places, bigger than West Ham. He is an absolute beast of a player, and as a defender myself in the day, I've not wanted Somerville running at me in any game. But you've still got your best player in Ruta. My view is that Ruta is the linchpin of what makes that Leeds team tick. Would you agree with that, Adam?
I would say both of them were probably equally very important, and obviously last season, Ampadu, his importance can't be understated. But those are the kind of the three that most fans would argue were our best players last season, and at various points, obviously Georgie had like a bit of a drop off a couple of areas of the season, but for the most part was excellent, and obviously like he is just so much fun in so many ways, so exciting and makes things happen. The goal he scored in the last game of pre-season was absolutely outstanding. If you haven't seen it, I would urge you to go and watch it. But yeah, it was absolutely brilliant. And we'll hopefully see more of that again this season. But yeah, he's obviously a very, very key player. But with Somerville, just quickly, it's interesting because we've got Willie Nonto obviously in the squad, and he was forced over to the right-hand side a lot of last season. But you could expect him to be better. He played on the left. He does kind of suit playing on the left more and playing at those sorts of angles. And his combinations with Georgie might be really important next season, and in the way that Somerville and him had last season. So could definitely see that being a possibility and probably quite likely.
Okay. All right, let's bring in our Pompey fan then, and let's preview the first home game of the season. Hi, Samuel, going to be heading to Ellen Road then with just short of 3,000 Pompey fans for the first game of the season. Welcome to the Whites Walk, Samuel. You must have been absolutely gutted when the fixtures were released, were you?
Personally, no. I'd rather play the better teams at the start of the season when they're gelling together, to be honest, personally. Obviously, Leeds, it's not going to get any tougher. Favourites to win the league, and for me, the favourites to win the league, and I think they'll win it. I don't see Burnley coming down, being as strong as they were when they went up. Sheffield United won't be, and Luton, I don't think will be. So I think it's the team that just lost out in the playoffs, unfortunately, which was gutting for me.
It's a fixture we haven't seen for 14 years, which feels weird given the divisions you must have been in. But you haven't played each other since 2012. Samuel, just tell the Leeds fans watching this what have you been like in pre-season, and what sort of formation would they expect to see?
Well, it's a definite 4-2-3-1. That's the one formation we play. It might change in game if things aren't going too well. But yeah, no, 4-2-3-1 pretty held on. We lost to Charlton 2-0 yesterday away. We were shocking. It's another way to put it. We were the second best team. They looked like the team that just won League One, not one that struggled last season. And MK Dons on Tuesday was a 1-1 draw. First half we looked decent. Second half we again just struggled. I think in midfield we're miles behind where we need to be. So probably playing us at the start of the season, or we haven't got the transfers in, is probably the best time to play us, to be honest. But yeah, no, 4-2-3-1.
Okay. Jake, there's no likely to be a Wembley hangover then from what you've seen. This is going to be a 4-0 comfortable home win, is it, against Pompey?
Well, I hope so. I mean, I think the main thing is that Farke he needs to have a strong start, because Leeds fans, I'd say, I wouldn't say they're sort of enamoured with Farke. They're not sort of in love with him. They're not wedded to him. But I'd say in general, most people are quite happy for him to be here for this season. But I think with the way Leeds fans can be, I think he probably will need to have a good start, because it's the belief of most people that, well, as of right now, we are probably the best squad in the league, or at least the best first 11 in the league. So I think he will need to have a good start, and I think it's obviously, I'm sure, obviously with respect to Portsmouth, it's not the worst first game that you could have. I don't think, at home against a team who've just been promoted. So yeah, I think we need to win it, and it should be. I would expect to win the game, but again, you never know. I'm not going to get too cocky about that.
All right, let's get some score predictions. Adam, you can put the Leeds one in.
Yeah, I think it'll be something like a 3-0, hopefully. Just comfortable. Maybe not a pasting, but just Leeds kind of cruise through the game, and that's what I want as well, because it'll put a lot of minds at ease.
Okay, Sam, would you take a 3-0 loss now?
Yeah, I would. I'd say you'd probably be disappointed with 5 the way we played yesterday, but no, I'm always going to back Pompey. I think 2-1 win. I think if we can get playing the way we played last season in some games, then we have a chance against anyone in the league. But again, it's if we don't have the players fit.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Sam, for joining us. Appreciate it. Enjoy your trip to Ellen Road if you can, or enjoy it up till the whistle blows anyway. Yeah. Cheers for that. And let's
give up the season, lads.
Cheers. Let's rate the Leeds shirts for this season, shall we? Okay, Rate My Take. Each week we'll ask you both to trawl through Twitter, and we'll put some of the wonderful takes that people have on Leeds games. But for this week, we have First of all, your opinions on the shirts, Adam.
I really like the away kit, like many others. Not really much to like fault with that. I don't even mind the collar, which has obviously got a bit of debate sparked over it. But yeah, no, the smiley badge is always going to do well for both young and old audiences in the Leeds fan base. But the home shirt is a bit all right. I think when I first saw it, I wasn't too keen. It's kind of grown on me a bit since, but it's not our best work. Let's put it that way. And I do agree with a lot of people that have said it would look better with the blue balls on that one as well. I do think it would look a bit better, but it's fine. We've had better ones for the home ones in recent years, but the away one is just absolutely spot on. We've not had enough yellow kits, and it's it's sold so well. Must be the Championship's best or one of the Championship's best, I think.
I think it is. From what I've read, it's nearly sold out, isn't it? Jake, I mean, I've read that people were up in arms about a bit of red on the Leeds shirt. I don't know if you call it red actually, but what's your views on them, both of them?
I'm not really. I mean, obviously, I know some fans are quite big on kits and they'll buy every kit. I'm not really one of those people. But in terms of just visually, the home kit, as Adam said, it's fine. It's I'm not crazy on it. I don't really care about the red on the shirt, and that's we had 32 Red as a sponsor about 7 or 8 years ago. We've had was it Red Kite? I think years ago. So there's been red on the shirt many times before. So it's not really. I think one of the kits in the 70s or 60s was red. So it's like that's just something to sort of get kind of up in arms about for no reason. But yeah, I think the away kit is the one that everyone's kind of gone mad about, really. It's strange because we had our chief exec, and I think Adidas themselves said it was their belief that yellow wouldn't sell, and that's our biggest selling away kit in the first day ever. So it's that's kind of been squashed. So I like it. Again, not sort of kits aren't something that, like, kit collecting not really my sort of one of my hobbies, but I like it, and I think it's it looks good from what I've seen in the friendlies and stuff. It looks it's nice on the players. So I can't complain too much, right?
No, it's my second favourite away shirt this season, apart from the Blackburn one, which I think is great as well. Okay, let's put you under the spotlight then in added time questions. Okay, 90 seconds of rapid fire Leeds questions. Answer with one word or two word answers only. Adam, was starting with you. Where will Leeds finish this season?
First.
Jake, which player has the most to prove to fans?
I'd maybe say Aronson, just because he was one of the players who left last season. So.
Okay, Adam, out of 10, how much faith do the current Leeds fans have in the manager?
8.
Jake, same question. How much faith do the fans have with the board out of 10?
I'd probably say 8 as well.
Adam, if I could give you a 6-0 win in any fixture this season, which one is it? Which ground?
Derby at Pride Park.
Okay. Jake, which team will win the championship if you don't?
Burnley.
Adam, which team is finishing 24th?
Derby.
Can see a pattern here. And Jake, finish the sentence. This season, I am most looking forward to.
I'll say Mateo Joseph. I'm excited to see how he shapes up when he comes into the first team.
Fair enough. And avoiding Wembley at all costs, I would imagine. Given.
Yeah, definitely.
Curse.
I can't have that 2 years running. I can't go down there 2 years running and get beat again. I can't do it.
Right. Well, we're excited to see where this season takes you. It's going to be a bumper one. It might be a boring one. I hope you from a neutral's point of view, you don't make it boring and you don't run away with it. But yeah, Leeds do look good, don't they? And we're excited to be along the journey with you. And if you're a Leeds fan, obviously you know what to do. Please comment and like and subscribe so that Adam and Jake can take a bit of money home for their beer and all their travels, because you've got a trip to Plymouth and to Portsmouth to finance as well, of course, along the season. So thank you for being on the journey with us, and we will see you next week to see how it's all gone. Cheers, fellas.
Cheers. Thank you.
I will see you.